All right, guys, ready to hold the guitar? Let's begin. First, we want to have a nice chair to sit in. We want to preferably have a chair that does not have any of the armrests because there's nowhere for the guitar to go and you're going to be moving the guitar around. I'm sitting in a folding chair here that I usually practice in. If you have a nice kitchen chair or something like that, that'll be perfect. The most important thing is you're ready to sit up nice and straight and that your legs are going to be flat. So when you're sitting, we want the leg flat and we don't want the flat, we want the leg not down, we don't want it up like that. So some of you might have to take something and prop up your, especially your right foot, which we'll see in just a minute, and your right leg to kind of bring that up so it's flat. That way the guitar, when it's sitting, if it's at an angle, it's going to have a tendency to slide off and so forth like that. So we want to sit nice and comfortably, sit up nice and straight, have our feet flat on the floor, and preferably once we get that feet flat on the floor, our legs are also perpendicular or parallel to the floor. So once we've got that, we need to set up the guitar. Now it may seem a little bit complicated to seem like I want you to go through all these steps to do it, but these steps and kind of have a checklist as you're going through will dramatically help you to develop good habits so that when you eventually just pick up the guitar, your body knows what to do. So we're going to do some steps that help to set up the guitar correctly and develop muscle memory, develop habits so that when you pick up the guitar in the future, it's ready to go without any effort and it's perfect each and every time. So the first thing is we need to prep the guitar itself. Now I'm going to use you and show you with the guitar that we're very similar to what we're using in class, the classical guitar from here. Near the end of the video, I will show you how to do the other types of guitars and what those may look like if you have another type of guitar. The idea is pretty much the same, even though it may look slightly different for each guitar type. So I've got my classical guitar here, and so what we want to do is get the guitar ready, step number one. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the string side down in my lap. And very carefully without putting a lot of weight and resting on it, I'm going to put the string side down. So I got the strings down and I have the head of the guitar on my left. So here's my left hand. I'm going to put my, I can reach out with my left hand and touch the head of the guitar. If I can't lift up my left hand and I can't touch the head of the guitar, then the guitar is backwards. So I've got the string side down and I've got the head of the guitar on my left. So that's the first step to getting the guitar ready, making sure the string sides are down, head on the left. Okay, from here we're going to roll up the guitar. And when I mean roll up the guitar, I'm going to roll it so the strings are facing away from me. And I'm going to take the waist of this guitar and I'm going to put it right on my right leg. That's a nice sturdy spot to be able to put that. And so it makes it pretty balanced when I'm putting it here. I don't want to put it on my leg like this. I'm not going to be holding the guitar up here like this. I'm going to have it right on that waist and it makes it feel fairly balanced. Now, after I've done that, I'm going to kind of just let the guitar kind of rest into my chest a little bit. So there is a little bit of an angle here. It does not have to be perfectly straight up and down. So I have a little bit of an angle, kind of bring that into my chest. So I make sure that I've rolled that up, the waist on the right leg, kind of lean it into my chest a little bit. That lets me kind of look over the top of the guitar neck a little bit as I'm playing if I need to. If I have it straight up and down, it makes it a little harder to, I usually have to do this to reach over, and I definitely don't want it obviously forward like that. So once I've got that nice and comfortable, then what I need to do is adjust the angle of the neck. The angle of the neck appropriately is having a little bit of an incline like I've got here. Level is okay as well, but a little bit of it up, somewhere in this, so level or maybe just a little bit up, but never down here. Okay, we're never gonna play, all those videos we watched earlier and you've seen people play, I don't think you've ever seen people play like this. Okay, so we want to make sure that angle of the neck is up a little bit or parallel. Again, I've got it leaning in my body. Now, this angle here, it's a little hard to see, but the guitar is straight in line with my body. So if I look down here like this, the guitar is straight on my body. It's not sticking out here like this. It's not sticking back here like this. I'm not trying to do anything weird like that. I just have it straight on my body like that. Okay, so let's review that again. So the step number one to playing the guitar, holding the guitar, is to get the guitar ready. And underneath that, there's each little subsets or checklists that I want you to have. First, waist on the guitar. Waist on the right leg is on the waist of the guitar is on the right leg. Second, the angle of the guitar, level or a little bit up, and then not too far forward, not too far back, but straight in line with our body. We're not worried about any of the hands right now. All we're worried about is just getting the guitar. because that's a big part of getting ready, is making sure the guitar is itself ready. Okay, so one more time. I roll the guitar up, make sure the waist is on my right leg. I lean it a little bit towards my body. Check the angle this way, up and down. Make sure it's either level or a little bit up, and then make sure it's not too far forward, not too far back, and straight in line with my body. So that's how we get the guitar set up. All right, now that we've set up the guitar correctly, the next step is to set up the right hand correctly. So again, we want to do each of these steps, kind of have these little checklists as we go, so that we go through these checklists, we know that we're doing it right, instead of just picking up the guitar and start playing and having all these weird things. If we do it step by step, the muscles will remember, your body will remember, your hands, and then when you do pick up the guitar and start playing, you're gonna be used to, your body will know what that feels like, and you'll be used to this. So it's a little bit weird that we're gonna go through all these steps over and over again, but again, it helps develop that muscle memory, makes a habit of it so that it's correct every time, forever, and you never have to worry about it again. All right, so again, we have the guitar set up. All right, so now what we wanna do with the right hand, and this is gonna seem a little bit weird, but trust me, this is going to work, and again, help develop those muscle memories, make sure that everything is set up correctly. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you hold up the L shape in your right hand. Now notice that my arm is not resting on the guitar at this point. It's completely free off of the guitar, but I have this L shape in my right hand. The fingers here are curved in. What we're going to do is we're going to set up the right hand to play with just the first finger for now. So what I want to do is make sure that we don't end up gripping the guitar and doing some weird things like this. So setting up the right hand like this will be very helpful. So we're going to set up and hold up the right hand completely free of the guitar. We've got the L shape so that these fingers are in here. Now the reason why we're doing this is so that we can put the hand on the guitar. Now the most important thing about the right hand is the hand itself. Most people will put the arm down first, and that locks kind of what everything is happening, and then they force the right hand into a certain spot because their arm is already set. That's not very good because the right hand is what is actually doing the work. So you have to set up the right hand first, and then the arm will follow in, or the arm needs to lead from whatever we've set up with the right hand. Now this is where it's going to look a little bit different on different types of guitars, and again there'll be a segment at the end where I'll show you setting up on some different types so you can see if that matches more of the guitar you have. But with this classical guitar, what we're going to do is again hold this up free and clear. I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to rest it on the 6th string. So I'm just kind of resting here, and I usually touch it about where the rosette and the 6th string come into place or contact, even though they're not actually touching. I don't want to be up here, I don't want to be back here, but I like to do it right about there so the sound hole is going to be nice and free from my right hand. So I take, again, I'm holding this up. Now I don't put this down. Notice that it looks kind of weird, but I'm not touching the guitar with my arm yet because I want to set my right hand. Now I'm going to take a reach around with my first finger and tuck it underneath the 1st string. After I've done that, then I just let my arm kind of comfortably fall into place. Because everybody has different body shapes, different guitar sizes, this is the most important thing. If I say put your arm here and then put your hand here, that's going to make a big difference for everybody, and it's not going to work very well. So again, we're setting up the right hand so that it's where it needs to be for playing, and then the rest of the arm and the rest of the body can fall into place. So once again, hold up the right hand without touching the guitar at all in the L shape. The thumb comes down onto the 6th string. We curve around to the 1st, then let the arm, and I kind of just kind of take a breath out and just relax with that. Now the rest of the fingers, I prefer to have them curved up. If they're kind of out here like this, that's normal. We just want to make sure that they are not resting on the guitar and causing problems there. We don't want to touch other than just our fingers here. So it's almost like I'm going to pinch those outside strings. Here's a close-up of the right hand. All right, so here's a close-up of what the right hand's going to be after we've done the L. So we're going to hold up the L. You kind of see in the top corner I'm not touching. So I come here on the 6th string, I'm touching down on the 6th string, and I'm wrapping around underneath the 1st string, almost again, as I'm going to pinch those two together. So here it is again, thumb comes down here, not way over here, thumb comes down here, wraps around, then the arm is going to come in and relax from there. So there's a close-up of the right hand. Okay, so let's just try that one more time. We're going to hold this up, thumb comes down, again, I'm not touching here, I'm kind of floating. 1st finger wraps around to get kind of move on. I'm going to pinch those 2 strings and then just let the arm. For me, it kind of fits right in the crux of my elbow, right on top of the guitar. Some of you might be a little bit like this. We want to make sure we're not back around here like this. We're not here like this. And almost guaranteed 99% of the time, if you do this correct, the arm will fall where it needs to. And that's very important. That's why, again, we're not putting, this. So when you're holding the L, make sure you're not touching here. Make sure it's free. Come down, touch from here. Now, we're not really worried about playing anything yet. We're just making sure we're, again, setting everything up. So that's how we prepare the right hand. All right, now that we've learned how to prep the guitar, we've learned how to prep the right hand, now we need to do the left hand. So before we do the left hand, let's redo the guitar. We're gonna do all those little steps. We're gonna do the right hand, so the right hand's ready to go. So I've got my guitar and my right hand ready to go. Let's add in the left hand. Now when I'm playing the guitar, no matter what I'm playing, even just a little run like that, a little exercise like that, I'm using the fingertips to press down with the thumb behind as support to pinch the neck, basically. I'm pinching that string down onto the fingerboard. So what we want to do is we want to make sure to remind ourselves that the left hand is basically pinching. And the best way to do this, I find, is holding up the left hand and actually pinching these two fingers, the thumb and the middle finger together. The first finger is not a bad idea, but just the idea that we're pinching, again, used to pinching that motion or getting a pinching motion going. So what I like to do is have you just hold up that left hand and do these little pinchies in the air. And while you're pinching that motion or making that pinching motion, move over to the guitar itself and then keep that pinching and just kind of pinch the neck 2 or 3 times and then freeze. Now what that usually reminds us to do is have a nice curved finger. So we've got the fingertips on the fingerboard here and our thumb is nice and straight on the back. We shouldn't be up the top of here and it's very vertical on the back and we're maintaining that pinching feel from here. We don't go over here, pinch, and then all of a sudden lay everything down. You see my thumb is hanging out here, my thumb is up here, because again, we don't pinch like that. Okay, so this is to remind us, and again, to remind our left hand that this is what this can feel like for the left hand on the guitar. So we do it in the air, we're pinching these 2 fingers together, we move over the guitar while we're still pinching, pinch that neck a couple times, and then freeze. Now notice I'm not way up here doing this. I'm obviously not down here. I'm not in the middle. I'm kind of where we would normally play the guitar for beginners, pinching and freeze. Now this doesn't have to be accurate. We're not trying to play a specific string, a specific fret. We're just trying to get our left hand into that motion. So make sure that as we're pinching, we come in, here's the fingertips. Now you cannot see the thumb, so I'm going to insert a picture here of what the thumb should look like on the back of the neck. Okay, here's what the pinchies look like from the behind the guitar neck. So we're doing our pinchies in the air. We're pinching over here. We bring up the guitar neck. We pinch. So notice I got that thumb nice and straight. I'm not laying down here. The palm isn't touching, but I got that nice and straight. I've got this nice open space in here. So once again, the pinchies, here we come, pinch. I'm pinching that guitar neck, freeze. Notice that I'm not over the top here. I'm not way down here. In this case, I've got this line here. Most of you don't have that, but I've got this line. That's kind of a good indication for me, but it's pretty much the middle of the neck. So I pinch, freeze. And there's what the left hand looks like from behind. All right, so now if you look at my body, I'm pretty well set up for playing the guitar. I've got everything nice in shape. I'm nice and comfortable. I'm not slouching back. I'm not leaning down like here. I don't have anything weird going on. I've just got a nice, good, comfortable position for playing the guitar. So again, the biggest thing to remember is we've got 3 major steps. 1, set up the guitar. 2, set up the right hand. And then 3, set up the left hand. And then each one of those major steps has the minor little checklists as we've talked about previously in the video. So if we do those step at a time, 1 step at a time, we do each little subset. So if I'm prepping up the guitar, then I think about all the little things I want to do with the guitar. When I do the right hand, think about all the little things for the right hand and left hand, so forth. If I have those checklists, then again, eventually you'll get used to just rolling up your guitar, boom. It's ready to play and it feels comfortable. It feels the same every time. So when something does go weird, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel comfortable, and you'll be back to here. So let's take a look at a couple of other types of guitars so that you know what they will look like and be able to modify if you match that guitar that you have at home. All right, so I'm back here with my steel string guitar. My steel string guitar is a much bigger guitar as I'm playing, but again, the concepts are still the same. So when I roll that up, the waist is going on the right leg. I've still got the angle. I can still do the right hand here, but because this is much bigger here, it's a much different position than it was with my other guitar. I can still do the pinches with the left hand. All of that still is, you look here, looks very similar to what I have before. Now, if you've got one of these at home, you're probably obviously a lot smaller than me, so it might kind of look like you're in here. But again, if you follow all the steps, it doesn't matter which guitar you're going to use, they will all fall into place and you'll be able to play it correctly. So again, if I hold that here with the thumb and the finger, let the arm fall in. That's the most important thing with the right hand, as we've talked about. The arm falls in last. I can still do the pinches here. My thumb is still straight up and down, even though it's hidden behind the neck, and I still use the fingertips here. But you can see it's a slightly different with this one. Not too big of a difference, but a little bit different because this is, again, much bigger body style of guitar. So if you have this one, it might look a little bit more like this. All right, so here we go with the electric guitar. This is probably the one that's going to be the most dramatically different. Now, if an electric guitar is all you have, it will work. You'll see that it's going to be, again, very different from what we're playing in class, and there's going to be some modifications when you come home, especially with the right hand and the right arm. If you have another guitar and an electric, my suggestion is use the other guitar. The electric is probably the one that's going to be the most awkward at the beginning. I don't want you just to think because the electric guitar is the coolest one, that's the only one you will want to practice at home. It may not be the most effective if you have a choice. Once again, if you don't have a choice, we'll do with what we have, okay? But notice it's going to be dramatically different. So I can still put the waist of my guitar here on my right leg. That's not going to change. I kind of lean that guitar into the body of my chest, but notice that it's way lower than the other guitars. And you're going to notice a big difference in the right hand in just a minute here as I do that. But I can still do that. I still have the angle up. All the guitar setup is still the same. The big change is going to be with the right hand. So if I do my right hand L's, I'm going to put in this case, I'm going to put the thumb in between the pickups here. I'm still going to come around, but notice that my arm and this one, it's because it's so much smaller, it can be very, very easy to go awkward and weird spots with this one. So it's still going to kind of come over the top here, but again, it's going to be much more forward than before because this is so much smaller and so much thinner. So this is, the right hand's going to be way different from here. So it's very easy to do other really bad things with this one. So make sure, again, that the thumb goes down, first finger, and then relax that arm. It should be very close. Notice it's pretty close. The left hand is not going to change from there. So here's what it would look like if I was doing the electric guitar. All right, so that's all the steps to holding the guitar and getting ready to play in the very near future. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.